Is no better example of how incompetent Mark Carney and the Liberal Party of Canada are than what has happened in the past week with Stellantis. Stellantis received $15 billion from the Canadian government, created jobs in Ontario, then just packed up and left. 3,000 jobs gone, 15 billion Canadian taxpayer dollars gone. Add that on to the 85 billion that have already fled this country since Mark Carney was elected. Funny enough, at Brookfield Asset Management, he's doing just fine. But as far as how the Canadian citizens are doing economically, it's piss poor. They continue to allow 3% of the population in worth of immigration. I'm not mad at the immigrants. I'm mad at the goddamn government. We have an economy that's in tatters. It's well defined, well known that bringing in this level of immigration is going to hurt the Canadian economy even more. Yet they continue to do it. And what happens today? Stellantis' CEO, after announcing that $15 billion, 3,000 jobs gone from Canada, he's in the Oval Office with President Trump announcing a $13 billion investment in the United States, as well as 5,000 jobs that are going to be coming. Are you kidding me? Mark Carney sold himself as the guy who could negotiate with Trump, made Trump out to be the boogeyman. Canadian citizens, ask yourself, unbiased, how exactly is that going? Canada has 45% tariffs now. The EU managed them down to 15. Many countries managed to negotiate them down to 0. In Canada, 45% because we continually antagonize this man. Massive car manufacturer after massive car manufacturer leaving Canada altogether. And if you listen to the Stellantis CEO, he came out and he explicitly said that the US is a much more business-friendly environment than Canada. Thank you, Liberal Party of Canada. Thank you so much. Only a party run by Justin Trudeau, followed by Mark Carney, could screw up the economy of a country that has the unbelievable natural resources that we have, the second largest landmass in the world with only 32 million population as of 2015. The combination of these WF Davos Green Initiative plans, as well as unlimited immigration, has absolutely killed our economy, while Donald Trump has cut regulations, isn't involved in any of this Mark Carney green grift, net zero, carbon emission. The government will tell you how much meat you're allowed to eat, how much you're allowed to drive your car. I can tell you right now definitively, Donald Trump is not buying into any of that garbage. And if you don't believe me, listen to the CEO of Stellantis. He literally spelled out today the reason that the massive car manufacturer left Canada and went to the United States is because the business environment is much friendlier there. So to all you liberals who bought into this elbows up BS that Mark Carney, because he'd been the governor of the Bank of England, governor of the Bank of Canada, you look deeper into his history and it's quite odd. He spent a lot of time with the WF, a lot of time with Davos. There's a very, very strange parental relationship with one of his children. But really, is this what you were sold on? Are liberal Canadians satisfied with what's happening right now? 2 straight quarters of negative GDP growth since Carney was elected. We're officially in a recession. $85 billion flee the country. Jack Daniels, Algoma Steel just announced 1,000 jobs were leaving. Do you really believe, because I have a hard time believing, do you really believe that Mark Carney is delivering on his campaign promises? Do you really believe that he is looking out for the best interest of the Canadian people? Because in my eyes, and I know a hell of a lot of Canadians think the same way that I do, it is just getting worse and worse and worse. And can you imagine just the PR of it, to have the CEO of Stellantis in the White House explicitly stating that the business environment is much friendlier in the US than it is in Canada. For us to have a Minister of Foreign Affairs whose job is literally to oversee these types of contracts. Melanie Joly, the same woman who seems to me to have a hard time showing up sober to the House of Commons, saying that the $15 billion contract that Stellantis signed, that they wound up getting out of, that she hadn't read it. I kid you not. If that's not disrespect to the Canadian taxpayer, I don't know what is. Melanie Joly literally had the gall to say, I didn't read through the contract. Melanie, can you stop showing up drunk to work? it's embarrassing the way that what's up with all these far left liberal women speaking in such an infantilizing slow way. You can spit it out. You're supposed to have a brain on you. You are Minister of Foreign Affairs, sweeties. But nothing better exemplifies still the difference between Trump and Carney. 15 billion Canadian dollars essentially stolen by Stellantis, 3,000 jobs gone, and then they turn around the following week and they're in the White House. So to all you people that are saying, elbows up, Mark Carney is our guy against Trump, 8 months in, how exactly do you think Mark Carney is doing? He's continued the record immigration that we know is hurting our economy. Again, I don't blame the immigrants coming in. I blame our insane government for looking out for foreigners before they look out for the Canadian people. Canada is known as the land of the milk and honey for immigrants because they know they can just show up here and the government of Canada will pay for everything. Meanwhile, our vets received in the most recent budget a $4.3 billion cut to Veterans Affairs. It's disgusting. The Liberal Party of Canada has become disgusting. They literally treat foreigners better than they treat the Canadian people. Not only the Canadian people, but the people who actually fought and died for us. Sorry, well, obviously these people didn't die, Veterans Affairs, but put their life on the line to defend this country. They can find $11 billion for gender studies overseas, but they can't manage to wrangle up more money. They're cutting for veterans benefits. If there's any group of people who should be looked out first and foremost before everybody else, and it's not even close, it's for people who have served in our military. But Canada every day is just becoming more and more of an embarrassment with these weak, pathetic betas like Mark Carney who wouldn't know what stand up for Canada meant if you hit him on the head with it. Just absolutely. And now this Stellantis deal, nothing better exemplifies the difference between Trump and Carney. The Liberals will find a way to try to spin this to say, oh no, it's a good thing that they took our taxpayer money. They sent it down to the States, but it's an absolute joke. It's pathetic. And I think that anybody who is able to look at things objectively, putting their political bias aside, can say that the first 8 months of Mark Carney's time as Prime Minister have been an absolute disaster for the Canadian people, and his time as Prime Minister needs to end as soon as humanly possible. I think the vast majority of Canadians can agree with that. Please like, share, subscribe, join, become a member, donate, grab some gear. Really appreciate everybody's support, and more information on the Fight for Canada party coming soon.